Hello everyone, good morning. Patricius Juandano here. Now I'm going to talk about how to write a research proposal. Now this will be useful if you are planning to write a research proposal, whether it can be for your scriptsy, for your thesis, or maybe you are thinking of applying for funding from the government or from any other institutions. Okay, now let's dive into my PowerPoint presentation and I'm going to explain how to write a research proposal. Okay, people, so this is our topic, writing a research proposal. I'm going to explain important parts in a research proposal that you need to attend to. Okay, so in chapter 1, you have to write the background and research objectives. Now, what does the background consist of? What does it contain? So you have to write a background that consists of a current situation, uh, current situation and current problems that you are aware of in your environment, in your society, in your town, maybe in your country, or problems that have been felt all over the world. Yeah. Then also issues or conditions, current issues or conditions that actually finally lead to your research objectives. So when writing a background, remember that you have to start with the current situations, the current problems, the current conditions, and then finally you write down uh, your solution through your research objectives. You offer a solution by saying that your research is going to propose or offer a solution to that problem. Okay. And then second one, you have to write the state of the art. What is the state of the art? State of the art simply means the most recent development or the most recent studies in the area or the topic which you are going to research. So that means that you have to find some journals, some articles in the journals, because there you are going to find the most recent development, the most recent studies in your topic. And that is the state of the art. You will know the current stage of the topic that other people have studied, and that's why it is the state of the art. Yeah, you need to bring this up in your research proposal so that people or the readers will know that you are aware of the current development, of the latest development of the area that you are going to research, that you are going to study. Okay, and finally, you have to state your research objectives. Sometimes some people call these problem statements. Problem statements and research objectives are usually the same. These are the things that your research is going to attain, the things that your research is going to answer. That's research objectives. Now, research objectives should be researchable. By researchable, I mean it should be done through research. You cannot state a research objective like this. What is the definition of emoticon? Now, that is not a good research objective because you don't need to do research to answer that research objective, right? You simply need to look at the dictionary, look the word emoticon in the dictionary, look it up in the dictionary, and then you find it. And then that's it. No research is necessary. Yeah. So it should be researchable in the sense that you have to do research, you have to do systematic steps in your research in order to arrive at the answer to the problem or in order to attain your research objective. On the other hand, a bad research question or a bad research objective is something that you cannot achieve. It's impossible to achieve. For example, you state that your research objective is to identify whether good language learners will go to heaven or hell. Now, how can you go to heaven and hell and see whether the good language learners go there or go to hell? There's no way of knowing that, right? You cannot even define correctly or uh, unambiguously what is hell and heaven. Yeah. So it's an area which you cannot explore through research, and therefore it is a bad research objective. A less extreme example will be uh, to know whether um, students will develop their spiritual growth. Now, how can you measure the spiritual growth? Takes a long time, probably with many ways, yeah, many difficult and complicated ways. Yeah, it's not going to be feasible in one semester or even in 1 year, because it involves a construct or a concept that is hard to measure. Well, if you know how to measure it, it's okay, then you can go ahead. But my point here is that you have to state your research objective so that it is something that you can do with the available equipment, with the available instrument, with the available analysis, and with your human capacity to define and identify all the key concepts. Okay, so that's researchable. Number two is, of course, it is preferably something new. So if you are aware that many researchers have come up with research about correlation between vocabulary and language proficiency, then you have to come up with something new. Yeah, think about something new, not just vocabulary and language mastery, but try to find something new. Try to find a gap. Try to find something that people have not been researching, something that people have not found or discovered in their research endeavor. Okay. Um, yeah, in this part, if you are writing for a government funding or any other funding from institutions, it's useful, or it is good to add some useful points in which you explain the usefulness of your research. What is the value of your research? Why should they give you the money to do the research? Now you have to explain. See, this is my research is useful for this area to solve that problem, to propose alternative to that condition, things like that. You have to state why your research is useful and it's worthy of funding. Okay, yeah. So that's in part one. In part two, you have to. This is chapter two. Okay, in writing a proposal, we talk about chapters. Yeah. So chapter two, you have to come up with the relevant theories and previous studies. Discuss the theories that are relevant to your topic. How to find out the topics? Then you can look at your topic. You can look at your title, and there uh, the theories are implied there. If you look deep enough, if you look careful enough, then you can find that behind your topic, behind your title, there are some theories, some relevant theories. Yeah, for example, if you are, if your topic is identifying the development of writing ability among high school students in a village, then you can see that this topic itself, this title itself, actually implies the useful theories or the relevant theories. First is the language development, right? Theories of language development, theories of language learning, yeah, and then theories of human learning, yeah, um, theories of the difference between education in rural area and in urban area, in cities and in remote villages. You can also bring up the principles, the difference between the two, the education system or education quality in the two areas, one in the city and one in the remote areas, okay, which probably lack basic educational infrastructures and those kinds of things, okay. Yeah, and then you have to browse the journals to find some recent studies that other researchers have done and discuss them. Again, this is similar to state of the art that you explained in chapter one, but this one is deeper. You go deeper. You you discuss deeper, you discuss more. You bring up a study, a recent study by other researcher, and then you discuss more the methodology, the analysis, and the findings, the implications of the findings, and most importantly, you have to relate the findings to your own plan of research. This is very important. For example, you are aware or you know that other studies have highlighted uh, the lack of teachers training in language teaching. Yeah, then you would say that my study will propose a new method for training the teachers so that they will be more capable of teaching languages, things like that. Yeah, so you have to relate, you should relate the recent studies to your own research plan. Yeah, okay. Um, Chapter 3 talks about the method. You have to explain your research design. Is it going to be experimental? Is it going to be a case study? Is it going to be a survey or a correlation or a mixed method? Is it going to be exploratory, in which you explore issues, you observe people going about their daily life, their daily activities? Is it going to be descriptive? You just go to a community and carry out some test or interview and then come up with a description about how they do things or their level of mastery, things like that. Yeah. So first of all, explain your research design. Second is that you have to explain your respondents or your subjects or any other sources of your data. If you are not working with human beings, you probably work with books and novels and other printed media on the internet, for example, then you have to explain, you have to let the readers know what is it that you are going to study. Yeah. And also you have to mention how you are going to select them. Are you going to select them purposefully with a certain criteria? Are you going to use random sampling? Yeah, or what? You have to explain clearly what are your subjects, what are your respondents or the objects of your study, and how you are going to select them. Yeah. And then the next one is you have to explain your data collection, how you are going to collect the data using questionnaires or tests or observation or a combination of these. Yeah. And then the next part is you have to explain how you are going to analyze the data. Once the data, once you have got the data, how are you going to analyze them? By coding, if it is long transcripts or results of observation, and then you code them one by one or by using sophisticated software like NVivo. Are you going to perform a statistical analysis, t-test, ANOVA, MANOVA? Yeah, so you have to explain clearly here. And when you are writing in English, of course, this part should be written in future tense. So, for example, the researcher is going to select the subjects randomly. The researcher is going to analyze the data through coding. Yeah, so it's going to or will. You have to explain this in future tense. Okay? Yeah. So that's it. Keep calm and do your research. Good luck. Stay safe and stay healthy. Goodbye.